The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sherapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sherapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
It is time for a Whale Watch Wednesday, boys and girls. How are you? Welcome into another episode of the Bostonian versus the book, today presented by Sporttrade. Dave Sherapan and Matt Perrault. We are live on our YouTube channel and on Twitter at Boston versus the book, replayed on SportGrid TV and Sirius XM channel 159. We've got a lot to hit you guys with today here on a Whale Watch. Kane will be by here in about 10-15 minutes. We'll get his look at everything happening in the sports betting industry, baseball, football, and more. How are you today, Dave? It's a Whale Watch Wednesday with our friend Alex Kane.
You know that. Everybody knows that. If you don't know that, now you know. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button right at the top. The comments have been flowing. Not just for the hats, but the guys got the hats. Again, if you missed the show yesterday, one guy got 3 hats, 3 guys got 1 hat, and we got a ton of comments, a ton of views, all kinds of stuff happening. But Whale Watcher Wednesday, our partnership with Sporttrade, brings us Alex Kane, the big redhead, 6'5", always looking good, usually from Philadelphia. Who knows where he's at today?
Right, Jersey.
Yeah, it could be in Jersey, could be on the side of the road. He's been on the side of the road, pointing at a sign that they told everybody about the juice.
True.
I can't wait to ask him about that because they tagged me in the tweet on Sunday and the NFL, and I did see the -104, -104.
Wow.
I was like, whoa, they're doing it. So we're doing it. You guys are doing it every single day, showing up here with us. We appreciate the hell out of you. It's going to be a great day.
A lot of things to get to on the show today, but want to make this known at the top here because Circa sent this out about an hour ago. If you guys were in the Survivor, and you've been knocked out, they are offering a Circa Survivor redemption offer.
Look at this.
They're going to give you free stay at Circa midweek.
Come on.
And give you a free day bed. At Stadium Swim.
Yeah.
If you come in, if you had 1 or 2 entries that have been eliminated, and all the way up, obviously, but it's for everyone essentially. If you were part of the group that's been eliminated from Survivor, and mind you, more people have been eliminated in the first 2 weeks of the NFL season in Circa Survivor than entered the entire contest last year.
Ooh,
think about that number. More entries have been eliminated in the first 2 weeks than entered the contest for the entire year last year, which was a record before this season in terms of numbers of entries to be in. So if you are one of it, and if you're a Brigade Product Service member, you need us to help you set this up and take advantage of this. There are rules, conditions, and things that will apply obviously on this, but we want to let everybody know that, hey, if you want to come back during the midweek, and I'm guessing, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I guess Thursday, I don't know, but definitely Tuesday, Wednesday, you guys can come and stay at Circa for free. Go to Stadium Swim. Maybe you're in California, you're a quick drive over, you want to just take advantage of it. It's a pretty cool offer.
That's fantastic. I love it. I was at the dock this morning. I didn't even know about this. I love when you hit me with an announcement in the morning on the beginning of the show, like I hit you with announcements in the morning. You don't know about that. Is exciting. That might mean we might see some friends. Some people that were here and just signed up, and we don't usually see them again until next season when they come back.
They're calling it the Circa Survivor Empathy Package. That's what it's called.
Okay.
So, contestants with 1 or 2 entries can redeem a 2-night midweek stay at Circa Resort and Casino and a $0 minimum day bed at Circa's year-round pool amphitheater Stadium Swim. Contestants with 3 or more entries in the first 2 rounds, who are out in the first 2 rounds, can redeem a 3-night midweek stay at Circa and a $0 minimum day bed at Stadium Swim. Offers are redeemable from November 3rd to December 26th and can be booked by going to circasports.com.
That's awesome.
So if you guys want to make a little bit of a trip out here in November, you can come on out. And, you know, you might be like, December outside. Yeah, guys, it can be warm. It can be pool weather in late November. And, you know, early November for sure, it can be pool weather. So just, you know, if you guys want to come on out, that's available for you guys to be able to do that with Circa Sports. So pretty cool stuff there coming with Circa Sports. All right. What happened last night? Well, our boy did it again. Amazingly enough, the countdown is officially on. It is time for Ohtani Watch. Home run number 48 for Shohei. The Dodgers lose 11-9 to the Marlins last night. But here we go, Dave. 2 home runs away, 2 steals away. He's got 48 and 48. When he hits number 50, because he'll hit 50, I believe, he's got 11 games to do it. How much money will that ball be worth in your mind?
A lot.
A lot. Well, according to a couple people who spoke to Yahoo Sports, 200,000.
Oh, bro, I'd have said over.
$200,000 is the potential.
Yeah.
We haven't seen numbers like this, Dave, since the home run chase going back to like Bonds and Sosa and Bonds and McGuire. Like, that's a big number. I don't remember how much money did the ball go for Aaron Judge when he hit 63. It wasn't 200,000, I don't believe.
I don't think he got it.
He never got the ball?
Kept it.
He never sold it? The guy never sold the ball?
I don't think so.
Oh, wow.
I think he kept it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to check that. Somebody check that in the chat. I don't know. But this one it's really cool because like on MLB Network, they're putting it at the bottom, the countdown, updating it like they did back in the day with McGuire and Sosa. Like, you remember, some of you old baseball heads remember, you new baseball heads
62,
may not remember.
Not 63, 62.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That was fun. And so like now they actually have the Aaron Judge Triple Crown chase.
Wait. JR, you have what? You have 15 of Sosa's home run balls from the chase?
Oh, Johnny.
And they're not for sale?
Johnny Parlay.
How long are you going to hold on to that? 15 of them. That's not a little amount. 15.
That's good.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
15 is better than 1. That's for sure. Wow, they played 2 series in Colorado. JC from KC said, wow, he could hit. I don't know how many more is he going to hit.
All right. They've got 6 games at home. Rockies, Padres. This is after the 2 games in Miami. They come back.
Yeah.
Okay. They come back for 6 games. He's going to do it during this stretch. Saturday night, Dave, is Shohei Ohtani t-shirt night at Dodger Stadium.
Want to go?
When they did bobblehead night.
You want to go?
I'm in New England.
Oh, you're on the plane back east. Yeah.
I'm in New Hampshire.
Damn, I need a driver. Oh,
but
she'll kill me. She'll kill me if I go. I got to go for the t-shirt night.
But
what if he hits the home run?
That's the question. Could he do it on Ohtani t-shirt night? Could he hit number 50? Because he needs to hit 1 more before Saturday, which is not crazy. It's Wednesday. So he's Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night. Got 3 games to hit 1 home run. If he hits 1, he's going into that game on Saturday night with a chance to hit number 50 on the Shohei t-shirt night. And if it's anything like the bobblehead night, we saw that line for like a mile at Dodger Stadium for people, and they were selling them immediately after they got the bobblehead. They were popping on the internet, being sold for thousands of dollars.
Yeah, still supposed to get one low key. They were hard to get.
Very hard to get. Still hard to get.
Yeah.
But this is Ohtani t-shirt night, on the night where he may hit number 50 and he may steal 2 bags just to make it all in one night. Who knows?
Guess what I'm doing Saturday night? I don't know. That's going to be
history.
Wow. How much fun is that? That's going to be great.
Yeah. So, and it's
good.
It's the Rockies. I mean, it's a bad pitching team. So, like, could he go deep? Of course. He's got a 3-game set Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then he plays the Padres on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Right.
So ticket prices right now The get-in ticket price is extraordinary for this homestand. Like, you're not getting tickets to this homestand for less than like an arm and a leg. This is going to be extraordinarily expensive to get in.
My mind's racing. I'm thinking, I don't know if you can see it. I'm like, oh my God, what time's that game? And see if I can get there. All these things. We got business to take care of in the morning, but we got less business because people lost all them things, and we might be able to do that. Those would be some pricey t-shirts, Mr. Armour.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, pricey t-shirts on top of the fact that if he winds up getting 50 on the night that it's t-shirt night, I mean, that's
can't make it up.
And then the fight, Butchie says it can be for body parts.
I love the body parts reference. Thank you, Butchie. Deuces. Love you, bro. Love it.
Expensive to get a hold of that ball.
Yeah.
And I mean, if it goes into, because there's parts of that ballpark that the ball does not hit a fan, it won't be in the stands. But if it gets to the stands,
it's going to be ugly. Oh,
it's going to be a war up there.
Oh, it's going to be ugly.
Like, they're going to need security up there to protect the person who gets that 50 ball, because that thing's going to be, like, leaving the ballpark. I wouldn't want to be in that, in that parking lot. Heard all sorts of crazy problems going on with Dodger fans. And this is historic, because you're not going to sell that ball to anybody in America. You're going to sell that ball to somebody in Japan, because somebody in Japan is going to come and buy that ball for an obscene amount of money.
Think so?
I think so. Yeah. It's a bigger deal over there. It's a big deal here. It's awesome. We like it. But like, in terms of historic, the first 50 guys, a Japanese born player. Are you kidding me? Like, someone's going to throw like Brinks trucks at whoever has that ball.
Right.
To get it. Bring your glove.
Oh man. Yeah. Wear your goalie gear is right. Holy crap.
Do you think where does he hit it? Left, right, or center? Because with Bonds and McGuire, remember when this was going on, you had everyone buying left field tickets like they were going out of style. They're paying so much more money for left field, outfield tickets to get the ball. With Bonds, it was the other side. McCovey's Cove, that whole right field angle, that was all chaos. Because I was there. I told you, I was there for number 70. So I saw 70 when Bonds hit it, and he hit it into the middle of that cavernous part in center field where nobody got it.
Right.
It's landed, and nobody got number 70. So like for Ohtani, though, I mean, he hit one out this week where it was a ball that never should have been hit out. He had a double this week where he literally was fooled, and he flicked his wrist and the ball went to the wall.
It's alarming.
You have no idea where that ball is going to go. It's going to go to the outfield somewhere, but it could go to any part of the ballpark. So it's not really advantageous to say, okay, I'm going to go buy right field tickets and spend an arm and a leg for that, because he just easily could hit that thing to left and go deep to left field.
True. I think my first instinct is right center field.
Okay.
Right.
Power alley.
He pulls it. Yeah, he hits one of those, but he could flick it to left and just hop it over the wall.
Right.
Like we have to look. Somebody get a spray chart of
it's everywhere.
Shohei's
I've seen his spray chart. It's everywhere. He hits the ballpark he hits balls out in every park and every part of the park.
Oh, no question.
Ridiculous. Guy's got power to every field.
Well, all the baseball heads here that are here, we'll give them a poll, P-Roll. Where's Shohei hit number 50? Left, center, or right?
Oh my.
I want to see what they vote.
What would you vote?
What the
left
boys
center?
vote.
Because you said left center, I mean right center. So that's not really, that's kind of splitting the difference here.
Yeah, I don't want to give them too many choices. They'll
You
yell
have
at us.
five choices.
We don't need 5 choices in a poll. We need 3. That's all. Left, center, or right. I don't know. I think I would. Butchie's put center dead. Yeah, I think I would vote center, an inside the park home run. CBW. Why do you always think of these crazy scenarios?
Inside the park home run?
Why would you even say that? That would be incredible.
If he
did that. Does he have any of those? He don't have none of those this season, does he? No.
Okay. That would actually suck. If he an inside the park home run for number 50, that would suck. That would
then
be
the ump just says, "Give me the ball. I'm going to throw it in the dugout for him." Here you go.
Talking about anticlimactic.
There you go,
that
Shohei. Yeah,
that would suck. All right, I'll vote center too. I think that's probably right. although who is pitching? The problem is it's relievers. You can say who the starters are, but it may be a reliever he hits it off of. And he gets to number 50. So it's not just one. So we'll pause the baseball conversation because it's time to go whale watching with our guy Alex Kane joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book here on a Wednesday. Alex, Matt, and Dave, great to see you. How are you?
What's up, gents? Happy Wednesday. Oh, we going Phillies? Where are we going, Dave?
Oh, I got my sport trade.
He's matching me.
We got to match Matt. Yeah.
How are you?
Are you good? We can hear you. Can you hear us?
You guys can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you good, sir.
Phillies game last night. All is good. All is right with the world. The Eagles lost, but it's Phillies season right now. It's baseball season.
Perfect.
We'll pick up the Eagles here in November.
We'll focus on that right now, right off the top. Phillies got the 1 seed right now.
Yeah.
Did they end the season with the 1 seed, Alex? That's what we need to know. We're looking at exactas. We're looking at matchups. We're looking at a bunch of things. I think it's really important that they get that home field throughout, but not to sacrifice burning out the pitching staff and anything to get it. You think do they end the season with the 1 seed, sir?
So we have 11 games left. We have rounding out in Milwaukee tonight. Then we have 4 game series at New York Mets. 3 game series at home with the Cubs, 3 game series at Nationals. Mm-hmm. So I think you probably win 7 out of those 11.
Yes.
And who do the Dodgers have? What are they?
Rockies for 6.
Marlins, Marlins, Rockies, Padres, and then somebody else.
Rockies again,
I think.
I go Dodgers because look, they got 1. I mean, they're playing the Marlins.
You go Dodgers
because listen to this. You have either the Marlins or the Rockies in all but 3 of your last games. So that's a weaker opponent set than Cubs and Mets, and you got to keep in mind. I believe the Cubs and Mets are still fighting for something. So you might see more effort than what are the Rockies playing for, what are the Marlins playing for. So I really don't mind because I think the Phillies actually have the Dodgers number. I think we all can kind of see it from the games we've played over the last 2 years with them. It just doesn't seem like LA gets super riled up to play us and we get really riled up to play them. So I don't know what your guys' read on that is, but
do you have yes/nos on the Sporttrade app?
What's that?
Series, yes. Do you have yes/nos for the World Series on the Sporttrade app?
Yep, we have yes/nos. I got to check out what we have there for this. Let's see, World Series champion. Dodgers are the favorite, then the Phillies, then the Yankees, then the Astros, then the Orioles. It's going to be an amazing postseason. If you told me right now, like, look, you're going to get you got to go away. You got to go to LA, but you have a 7-game series in the NLCS. I'd take that.
Right.
You got 3 games at home, 4 games away. You have to. It's like playing tennis. You got to break serve once.
That's it.
I would take that. I think every other Phillies fan would take that. It's hard to see a path, right? I mean, like even getting to NLCS is going to be tough, right? You got to be probably. Ooh. So you're going to play someone either really hot or you're going to play the Braves. Well, how are the Braves looking right now? Are they on the outside?
The Braves are out. If the season ended right now, the Braves are out. The Mets are in the 6th seed. The Brewers are the 3 seed. They would play in the first round. And the Diamondbacks and Padres would play an elimination series for 3 and then play the 1 seed. So the 2 seed may not be the worst thing in the world.
Right.
Although, who wants to play the New York Mets right now?
Nobody.
The Mets beat. I think they took 2 out of 3 when we played them last.
Yes.
It's wild to me. Like Jack Larkin, our boy Jack Larkin, he's a huge Braves fan. To think that they might not make the playoffs,
right?
Yeah.
When at the start of the year you could say that's the best roster in baseball, right? It's either them or the Dodgers.
Injuries came out and took care of the Braves with Albies. He may come back though. Albies could go back, but we know that Acuna's not. What do you make of the idea around Shohei pitching in the playoffs? Would you pitch him if he says, hey, Skip, I got an inning or 2 or more? Would you risk it from a long-term investment standpoint?
Yes, if it's one of those, like, this is the great thing about playoff baseball is in elimination games, there's no rules. So you're not going to bring in, like, if you're 6 in the third in and you have a 2-1 lead and your options are to bring in 2 relievers that just don't match up well versus the dude, you're going to bring in a starter. Like, that's a great thing. And so I think you would see that, but I don't know if you're going to see it off the bat. I think you're going to see it in those, like, we have to win this game. We can't give up a run this half inning sort of scenarios. I'm curious what you guys think, but he's obviously incredible. And how much pitching has how much pitching has he really done this year?
He has
0.
not pitched 1 inning. He's working in the bullpen, trying to get ready, and he's showing them that he can pitch. Just, I think, one, to put the thought in everyone's mind that, hey, this guy could come in and close a game, but 2, to see if he could actually do it, because as a fan, 1, I love it. Yep. 2, as a manager, knowing that he's sitting in the dugout, not fielding, just hanging out, just hitting bombs and doubles, and all, like Kelsey used to say, my daughter, doubles and bombs, bro. He hits that all the time. Sit down, relax after the 6th, and we're going to send you out to the bullpen to warm up, to come in, play. So, I mean, that would be electric. He came in and closed that game in the World Baseball Classic, and forget about it. It was one of the best baseball moments of the last 2 decades.
And he struck out his teammate, right?
Yes, he did. He struck out Trout and closed it out for them. So, I mean, as a Phillies guy, I don't want to see it happen, but, like, that would be cool as a baseball fan.
Oh, I would love that. I mean,
yeah,
I would absolutely love that. And I think he's shown he's got the staying, he's got the star power that he could still be a fantastic hitter without the arm. And so that you have to factor that into the math too, right? If you're NLCS Game 6, 8th inning, and I might bring him in a World Series Game 7, because winning a World Series, if you said to the Dodgers organization, you're going to win a World Series, but this is going to take 2 years off of his pitching timeline. It's not going to take anything off the fact that he's a great hitter, and he will be for life. So what's the value of that? It's not like it's like pitching Shohei or bust. He's clearly.
Do you think of everything in terms of the book and the value and the this and the that? I mean, that was a tremendous breakdown how you did that. Like, that was really good.
You do this all the time. If I look at your Twitter, it all has odds next to, like, should I wear the blue shirt or the minus 1,000, red shirt plus 2,000?
I love it.
That's how we think. We're all messed up in the head.
We all have that thing. But I did see over the weekend, Mr. Kane, what did you guys do on the Sporttrade app? Because the boys tagged me on one of the tweets. And did I see the minus 104 on the NFL?
Yes, we got there, which was amazing for pregame. Obviously, as the liquidity grows, as the game gets closer to game time. But across the board, we saw players getting regularly minus 104, minus 106 on basically everything. And that's like alternate lines as well. So if you wanted to take 2 or 3 points away from the main line, you're going to get just as tight of a spread. It's not like the second use. If the game's 3, and you're like, well, I'd like to lay 4.5, and I'm probably going to get plus 140 from that. The other side of that would be like minus 152 or whatever. So you still get a really, really tight spread, even if it's not the exact 50-50. And then in game, we saw limits. You can get $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in the middle of a drive, and then at things like halftime, you can get even more than that. So that's what Sporttrade's all about, and it's been nice getting new customers in this fall. And I think, launching in Arizona, that's going to be wonderful as well to introduce that to players who have been hearing about it. They've been seeing it. They maybe have created an account, but, we haven't enabled betting yet for them. So looking forward to seeing, giving that experience to players, because Arizona uniquely is a state that doesn't really have a lot of options outside of the more recreational option from a regulated perspective. So that's kind of interesting. It'll be our first state where there isn't a Circa initially, there isn't a Prime initially. And so how does that different? As you know, Dave, like, if you're not the best price for certain players, you're not going to get their action.
Right.
It's a little bit easier to be the best price when in a state like Arizona, you really have more of a monotonous offering, from a competitive landscape perspective. So there's excitement. A couple of us will go out there over the weekend and a hosting event for some folks that have signed up in Scottsdale on Monday night. If you're listening and you're all interested, send us a DM and we'll meet you there. And yeah, we're looking forward to getting the ball rolling there.
So, I mean, good timing too, because the Cardinals might actually be decent this fall. What they looked pretty good last week. What have you guys seen in the first 2 weeks? Because you guys take quote unquote sharper action. You take larger wagers in people that may be on the right side of some of these games where the public has gotten annihilated across the country in weeks 1 and week 2. How have things gone for Sporttrade for you guys and your bottom line?
Pretty good. I think because about 50% of our handle comes from in play, that the concept of like the betting splits and stuff pregame, it all, you know, Dave, it just goes upside down by the time you get to the halftime, because you're, well, you know, I needed Los Angeles, but now I need Philly because of just the way it works out. And that's the real differentiator for Sporttrade. It's baseball. We've got this going too, which is great, but you're regularly going to get a sub -110 line during the game. So, you know, you will get a better sort of offering, you know, betting in game than you may get betting pregame at some of these other shops. And so, you know, the other thing we've got going, which is really exciting, which is definitely, you know, delta year over year, is our player props, which is some in play on that, which is great. Mainly pregame on player props in terms of where the volume is. And we have customers betting 2, 3, 4, 5,000, even closer to post on things like passing yards. I think the prices we have are pretty differentiated. I'm not going as far as say as they're ARBs. They may be ARBs.
Right.
They may just be plus EV, depending on what you think the true source of truth is, which, as Dave, you like to say, no one knows shit. I will say for props, truly, no one knows shit. Like, there's no such
exactly.
thing. Well, I bet Tua over 258.5 at -110. It closed -130 plus 110. That must be closing line value. Sorry to tell you this, but this is a very not liquid market. You know, that might not actually mean anything. And that variance has gone initially against the customers, but customers still come firing. And I'm sure for Thursday night, I think it's what, New York and New England, right?
Yeah, Patriots, yeah.
That's going to be interesting. And, you know, there's not been a lot of touchdowns scored. Have you guys seen this trend? Have you talked about it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, passing touchdowns are way down. Rushing touchdowns are up. We're not seeing quarterback play anywhere near what we've seen in the past. And we've seen just scoring being really well, you know, other than a couple of crazy. The New Orleans Saints, obviously, with 91 points. That's an outlier. The Cardinals scoring a lot this past week, also being an outlier. But generally speaking, scoring has been pretty depressed in the first 2 weeks.
Yep. That's and so we've had a lot of players taking over passing yards. I don't think generally those have done too well.
No,
across the board.
And there will be major adjustments in those numbers. Like you'll see it. The overall, you know, number, if it was 258, will be 238. There'll be massive. I don't know if it's massive, but 20, 30-yard chunks adjustments for opening numbers, and then you'll be able to work off of them. College football has been kind of interesting, and what has college football looked like at Sporttrade? Because, you know, Saturday it looked like, I mean, all the favorites won pretty much, and a lot of them covered the spread. So people won on Saturday and got beat up on Sunday. How's the college football action for you guys?
Let me see if I can show you guys some real data of like customer P&L by sport here. Let me try to pull it up. College football has been good. The liquidity is getting much better. This week's been very, very good. You're going to see Sporttrade near the top of the odds screens across every college football game, which is wonderful. The one point I want to make about this whole like books will adjust. I think this is why in-play betting is so exciting to me, because, you know, you see these things and you know, there's a lot of these apps out there and they're all run by awesome people, but it's like, well, this over hit 7 out of the last 10 and I think what I want to remind customers is like every piece of information that you have, you better be damn sure that the books also have that information.
Yes.
And they've likely determined which of that is important and not. And that's likely already baked into the line.
Into the number, right.
But in play, that's not the case. That is just not the case. Like there are definitely things that, look, most of these sports books for the most part have a machine determining what is the true price of this. And then they have traders adjusting things on the fly. Ed Miller talks about this a lot. Matt Davidow. I think the bigger opportunity for someone that doesn't have a huge infrastructure is to pick a league, pick something, and focus on something in play where you can actually start to spot something that others may not see. And that's way harder to do pregame. I'm not saying you're going to make money from doing it. No, would never suggest that. This is betting after all. But I do think I do see a lot of like, well, this over hit 8 of the last 10. It's like, well, first of all, what was the over? What was the price of that over? And even if we knew the price of the over and what the actual over under was, that's probably also information that a sportsbook has. And they've probably determined that it's either is or isn't important. And so trying to attribute that to the next week is tough because we all have that information. Like you just said, Dave, I just didn't want the audience to gloss over what you just said, which is so important. It's like, hey, the book kind of pays attention to these trends as well.
Always. The book always pays attention. Just, I mean, that's how the numbers kind of made. But also, I love the in-game stuff from a betting standpoint. But then when I got to sit in the room and do the in-game exclusively and do the trading, like it's the most real, rawest form of betting and bookmaking you could have. Here's the number. You got about 8 seconds. If you want to bet it, bet it. If you don't, I'm going to change it because the situation is changing. Yes. So I think that is an exciting part that a lot of old guys in the business don't get. And not that I'm old or saying other people are old and don't see it, but Alex, the growth point for you just said it, it's 50-50 in-game versus pre-game.
Yeah.
The in-game ceiling is high, is it not? It doesn't have to be all sharps and rhombuses and angle shooters taking shots. You can do it for $5 a bet and end up betting $50 in a game with 10 different bets.
Yeah, totally. I honestly think that is, I think the same game parlay has moved a lot of action to pregame in the last 2 or 3 years. And I think in play definitely remains the biggest opportunity for us. Like what we're trying to solve is cash out has been really a word that a lot of bettors have heard that and go, I shouldn't do it because, there's margin added. And I think we're in the lab, we're doing some QA, we're doing some RNA around this is like, how do we make cashing out more intuitive, right? So how do we attach a price to a cash out? So give you an example, I place $100 at minus 110. I'm going to get back 191 if the bet wins. Right, my 100 plus my 91 profit. Make it even simpler, but 110 to win 100. I get 210 back for wins. And the book in the middle of the third quarter says, we'll give you $154. So you pause there for a second. When you place a bet, you get to see a rate. We call that those odds, right? The most prevalent form is American odds, minus 110. It gives you an idea. For every 110, I win 100. When you see 154, what is the rate? What does that mean they're offering you? What we believe is attaching a probability to that to say you can cash out at 67% of the full amount right now. Not the full amount that you bet, the full amount that you're set to get back of that 210, that we can make cashing out more intuitive. And also, by the way, we don't add any extra margin. So it's the exact same. If you took the over at minus 110 and then you want to take the under in game, it's the same thing as cashing out the over. We don't add any extra margin. This is where I think we want to test, and we're going to come out with some features in the next couple of weeks that really try to make cashing out more intuitive. Because to your point, Dave, with our spreads being a lot tighter, we want to try to encourage players to responsibly, of course, cash out as part of your arsenal when you're placing in-play bets. Because the best part about cashing out, especially since there's no added margin relative to hedging, is you get that money back into your account. So if you put 110 in on the over 54.5, and then we tell you can cash out at 80% of that payout, and you say 80%, I feel pretty good about that, and you do that, then whatever that 80% of 210 is, $170, you get the 170 back into your account, as opposed to having to lock it up and saying I took the over on this site and then I hedge on the under over here. Now you've locked up 110 over here and another, let's call it $60 over here. We try to streamline that. So I think the growth of in-play can really be enabled, and every single book is the same. It just says, here's your cash out. And I think what bettors are missing is a very intuitive tool to say, what does that mean? Like, that's just a number. And I think if we start attaching a probability to that, then it makes them say, well, if I think the win probability is higher than 80%, I'm not cashing it out. If I think the win probability is lower than 80%, I might cash this out. The same way you think about, well, if I think the team's laying 4, if they should be laying 4.5, I'll take the bet. So I think that's what's missing right now for cashing out. It's just like there's no context to the number. Like 154, well, that sounds good. It's greater than 110, but how good is that? If we say you want to cash out at 80% win probability, okay, maybe that makes a lot more sense. So I think there's a lot more that operators, and we're certainly going to try to do, to make that in-play experience more intuitive for even the average gambler who kind of looks at it and be like, wait, I'm winning money, but wait, is it way more likely than the cash out they're offering me? And thus, like, I'm getting rug pulled, or is this a good cash out? Like, at least when you place a bet with odds, you kind of have that telemetry. With cashing out, you have nothing. So that's what we want to fundamentally change.
So just to dovetail in this conversation, because Richard Suits wrote a really cool article on a lot of these topics on casinoreports.com. And I just want to put it on the screen here for a second, because it says the betting operator's victimhood drama also includes courtsiding, which is something that we talked about here on this show, which is basically somebody sitting at the court at the game and betting before the numbers, saying courtsiding threatens operators because someone at the event may know something before the operator's risk room knows something, which could cost the operator money. Richard writes, here's a wild thought. Do not offer a bet you cannot safely offer. If your technology can be bypassed by anybody with a phone, an event ticket, and a betting account, you should not be handling that market. Quit crying and spend time developing better technology and controls. So along the same lines, we're talking about in-play, and we're talking about the growth of in-play. It feels like the operators want to go the other way. They want to stop offering or eliminate it, because what they said in that mass hearing with the gaming control was basically like, hey, we're kicking people out for courtsiding. And Mass is saying, well, why is that wrong? Why is that wrong for someone to be at the game and betting the game because they're quicker to you to the number? It didn't make sense to the people in Mass, and to the public. I think people see that and they go, wait a minute, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think courtsiding is an issue I've spent way too much time thinking about. I think that it is totally correct. I think that, once again, the solution is, how do we enable an open and free market to tackle that problem? And that problem very specifically lies in the fact that we work with them, we love these companies, but the fact of the matter is they don't have competitors. And so these companies that collect this game state data and then give it to a sports book, what truly is the incentive for them to provide the best possible product? I say that as a customer of these companies. I'm friends with these people. I'm talking from a high level. If you don't have competition, then what is the incentive for the 18, guy you're paying $18 an hour who's sipping on the Coke to enter in the fact that a home run was just hit by Shohei faster than the guy sitting next to him on the betting account? Is really not an incentive. I think if there was an open market where more of these companies could come in and collect this data, and the leagues are a part of this too, then the best product wins. Those products compete, and then at the best cost, those products are paid for by sports books. And now the sports books can offer a fairer product. So the problem is the way the sausage is made is really forces an operator to take one sort of game state data provider over the other, because there's exclusivity for this league, there's exclusivity for that league. So that means there's only one company that gets to go inside an NFL arena. The problem with that is you lose that edge. If you're a company, if I'm a car company in the US and I have no other competitors, I'm not going to make the best, fastest, safest, cheapest, most efficient car. No one's pushing me to do that. So once again, the solution there is so simple: competition. Let the open market solve that problem, because it's totally correct. You should probably not be offering a product that a kid can come in on, 21-year-old kid can come in on the phone in Fenway and beat you. And I think the sports books want to be enabled to get that data faster, but they're sort of handcuffed by how they have to get and pay for that data. And because there's no competition, the speed at which that happens is slow. And because the speed at which that happens is slow, they have a very clear attack surface where the question becomes, do I not offer in playing at all? Or do I have a blank 5-second delay for everyone, which sucks for 99.99% of everyone, of all my customers, but that 0.1% can literally bankrupt me if they're sitting there and every time they hear the crack of the bat, they bet. I'm just a sieve. And so that's the issue. And I think that, once again, there's probably simple solutions to these issues, and there's probably a reason why these simple solutions won't come to bear.
That's one of the things I think, in reviewing the gaming control hearings and listening to people talk about it, the fact that you just said that like the 0.1% can bankrupt you, can break you. You can be an open sieve, just like that always has to be part of the conversation, despite the fact that it is only 0.1% of the customers.
Yep.
That fact alone is why the book does a lot of the things that it does. You can't have leaks. I got this guy in town that I joke with, and he's like, the key to life is not having leaks. The key to running a successful sports book is not having a lot of leaks. You got to plug them when you see them. And I'm not saying it's the right answer, but think about it. If there's 15,000 people at a basketball game, how many of them are betting? Probably not that many. Then how many of them are betting that game in-game, and how much of them are then betting that game in-game for the limits where they're going to hammer you? It's not that big of amount of people, and it's not that big of a number. We got to figure out a way to get better. I mean, personally, when I was in a room and booking the games, if I figured out that somebody was at a game, I went in with them. If they were constantly getting ahead of my number, I just made sure I needed their side and try to take bets on the other side. There's a way to figure it out inside that's a short-term solution. But, Alex, there's not a long-term solution. That's that right now. Right now, there's not a long-term solution.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, too. Well, in the chat, we just had Alan Smetana bring it up that said, I love watching the tape. People are getting used to watching the tape on there as well. But how does someone sign up for an account? I've been getting texts and DMs are like, hey, do I just go to one of the states and sign up for Sporttrade? How would you explain it to somebody who's watching the show for the first time or, reaches out to you? What's the easiest way to sign up for an account for Sporttrade?
It's a great question. The easiest way to sign up is we're available on iOS and Android. We're bringing the Android to more states here very soon. We're going through the approval process with the Google Play Store. You can sign up from anywhere. Obviously, you have to be 21. You have to go through the KYC process. You can deposit from anywhere. We have various different deposit methods. You can only, wagering is only enabled when you're in the four walls of, insert state name. So New Jersey, Colorado, Iowa, and then hopefully very, very soon now, Arizona, and next month, Virginia. And you don't have to create an account and do any of that stuff. If you're in Massachusetts and you're like, is this cool? You can download the app and just kind of watch the tape. There is value to doing that. There's value to checking out where we might be at halftime and, okay, what is that?
I do that in Vegas.
What does the market say this is worth and these sort of things? So yeah, that's how you sign up.
We got a date for Virginia. Brandon's asking in the chat if we have any clue, any idea.
Brandon, send me a DM. I'll give you as much information as I have to summarize. I think around 3 weeks from today.
Oh wow! Soon. Okay.
Yeah, we're working on trying to get there mid October. We are very, very close on Arizona. The one thing to keep in mind is that we are the regulators. It's their world. We're living in it. We are privileged to live in it.
Yes,
and that just can mean that, hey, I just checked something of something you submitted a while ago, and I don't like this, or you need to get this person licensed or whatever. That can always happen.
They're like an English teacher with a red pen, Alex. Like they just, they find that punctuation point that was missed or its T wasn't crossed, and they just come back at you like, hey.
The fear is real. I do want to give a shout out to Khalid Jones. Khalid is the executive director of the Virginia Lottery. I got to meet him on Monday, Anthony and I. And he basically said, look, I was in the private sector for all this time. He can tell his story better than us. Maybe he's a great guest for the show because he could really bridge this gap with this whole Massachusetts thing. I'm not speaking on his behalf. I have no idea if he'd be interested in doing that. However, he said every interaction I had with a regulator in the private sector formed the type of regulator I wanted to one day be. And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, oh, this guy is incredible. He wants the market to innovate. He wants to find ways to say yes, as opposed to look for ways to say no.
Love it.
And I think that there are a lot of regulators like this, that say, I see what you're doing. I see the regs. I wrote the regs. I see the legislation. Let me work with you to get this. You're good people. You're trying to get licensed. You're trying to pay tax. And I think that that's the way regulation can really operate, is if regulators are saying, wow, you're doing all this or coming through this process, let me work with you. Let's find a way to get this live. I don't really see a pathway right now with our rules. Maybe we can change our rules. That sounds crazy to hear, but that's the reality in some of these states. They really do want to work with you. So we'll see. We'll see where we end up. But I had that conversation with Executive Director Jones, and I was just like, man, if I could have dreamt a conversation I had with a regulator, I think that literally that person would have said what you just said. Those people are out there, and they're special. So it's not all doom and gloom. So just wanted to point that out.
Very cool. Alex, thank you for joining us. This is always a ton of fun every single week. Have a fun week 3 of the NFL. Week 4 of college football should be great. We appreciate the time. We'll catch up with you on Wednesday for next week. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Let me know when Arizona is too. I might come down and see you.
Woo.
Awesome, man. Very, very soon. The Sheravan. Love you guys.
I'll be down there. See you.
Alex Kane joining us here on the Boston versus the Book. Always great to get him on the program, talking about a variety of things here on the program here. Yeah, guys, it's simple too. If you guys want to go and download the tape, as he mentioned, it can be done from anywhere. Sporttrade doesn't have to be legal in your state for you guys to go and download the tape. And you can see everything. So download the Sporttrade app. You'll see the tape. You'll see all the different bets coming through. You can use it for your own research, your own information, and just, obviously don't bet and follow anything blindly, but it can definitely add to your handicap to see where some of the larger wagers are coming in on Sporttrade, and it's free and available anywhere. So it's very, very cool to have that opportunity to do that. And it's fun to watch. People are doing that. So
I like to watch it on Saturdays and Sundays now. We were watching it on the golf. Look at that freeze face. Oh my God. Mikey just got him. Oh, that was a good one. He froze for 1 second.
I didn't freeze. That wasn't a freeze. That was a pause. That was an actual pause. Did not answer this. How big is the Sporttrade team you work with? You asking us or Alex that?
Oh, he's probably asking Alex that. But
well, his team's great. We met them. We met like half of them here in Vegas. It was cool.
Oh yeah, no, we met a lot of them. Actually, yeah, a lot of them came out for Bet Bash. That was fun. But I think there's a lot to unpack from all that conversation. It's really.
I do want to get kind of to pick up what Schutz wrote though, because I think it's really interesting that I'll put it back up because I
told Schutz we were talking about him today again. He said thank you and he loves us, and
it's a great article. It's long. It's got a variety of different layers to it, but the headline, at a sports betting counter, it is hard to ignore a player. The rise of virtual betting is fueling a disconnect between operator and customer. Now, Schutz is a riot, so this is a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but he writes about courtsiding, saying the betting operator's victimhood drama also includes courtsiding. Parents who take their kids to an athletic event should know that if they pick up their phones, the secret courtside sportsbook police may be watching them. Okay, it's not really that bad yet. Courtsiding threaten operators because someone at an event may know something before the operator's risk room knows something, which could cost the operator money. Here's a wild thought. Do not offer a bet you cannot safely offer. If your technology can be bypassed by anybody with a phone, an event ticket, and a betting account, you should not be handling that market. Quit crying and spend time on developing better technology and controls. This is something that you and I talked about, Dave, about the pushback when it came to these types of situations. And even Alex said it. Look, there are situations that if you want to have in-game, you might just have to deal with the fact that somebody may be at the game courtsiding you. It's part of the risk, is it not?
It is part of the risk. It doesn't have to be. You can turn it off.
Okay, right. Yeah, just not take it. And that's what Mass asked.
Or
Mass asked that question.
The
Gaming Commission was like, just shut it off.
You can go get someone and hire someone to courtside for you.
Okay, that too. Yep.
And give you the information as you go. So, the other option is to set a delay for everybody, which is easy. As long as it's fair,
right?
But some guys cheat and you have to set them on a longer delay. There's all kinds of ways that the book has to police it. If we could all sit in the same room and get the same feed, I don't think there would be a problem at all. But we can't. So it's gambling. And Brandon Walton just came in the chat and said it's gambling on both sides. It is. But if you're ahead of it or you have better information, faster, sometimes you can beat it. Doesn't always win. But
beat it. That's good. It's fair.
You got to play.
And they kick you out. then they as shoots rights, then they kick you out. It's the article is awesome. It talks all about the fact, basically about like, having different restaurants that you go into and you can get thrown out because you came in and you had something that was unique to you, and you got something that nobody else had. He talked about a coupon code that when he walks out of a shop, somebody's walking in and they have a frequent coupon code and they give it to the guy saying to Richard and say, hey, take my coupon code. It gets half off the sandwich. And then you go and use the coupon, you get thrown out because somebody gave you that coupon code because you're not a regular customer like the guy who gave it to you. It's like, what restaurant would survive doing that? How would they be able to throw people out by doing that? Because they're able to get something that was advantageous to their betting or their eating. And it's very interesting just to see how these are going, that the more stuff like this that gets into the ecosystem and people have these conversations, it's harder for the operators to operate, not, other sharp ones, but the rec books, as we're calling them. It's harder for them to operate the way they've been doing things in the shadows when sunlight comes to, exposing it all.
Well, I mean, a big problem is like when we put up the in-game numbers, it was me. Like, I was responsible. There was no one else doing it. So, and I was given that because of my ability to do it. A lot of these rec books are outsourcing this stuff. Like, and then they're quick to blame someone else instead of just saying, if we're taking it, you can play it. No. Oh, we got the slow feed. We got this. Alex talking about the kid making $18 an hour, eating a hot dog and a Coke at the game, sending in the information. Well, maybe he was taking a piss when something happened and was 20 seconds late sending you that, you didn't move the line, so I bet it. Well, that's on you, like, for not moving the line. I don't know what to tell you. It sat there and I bet it. So, I mean, this feed thing is really making it difficult to do this. And I don't know. The in-game stuff I think the upside is huge. I believe in the product. It is the most realist form of bookmaking and betting you could possibly have. Here's my number, fire.
Yep.
Here's my number, fire. And then I'm going to move the number. And if you didn't get it, somebody else did. And that's part of the problem. Okay. It's not part of the problem. It's part of the solution. It means someone else got it or I changed it. We're playing the same game now. The pregame stuff is so easily manipulated. And I still love the in-game stuff. And it doesn't have to be out of control. Like the responsible gaming part of that hearing, they didn't quite get right in that they needed to talk about it more, but not in the same conversation.
Okay.
It's not the same conversation because a lot of the in-game betting is volume betting. It's making a bet to make another bet to make another bet to improve a position. Not everybody's like that, but I mean, I am, and I know a lot of guys that are. Sat with guys and watched them make 50 bets during a football game. It's not for everybody. Is that a problem?
It shouldn't be.
Some may deem that.
But that's ridiculous.
They talked about that being you. If you make that many bets in a game, that you're probably need help.
No, what?
Yeah,
but you get shut off that way. That's what they use as we don't care if they're a lifetime loser. The behavior is why we're kicking you out,
right?
Which is nonsense. It's complete and utter. Sorry, Will. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit that you put up a market. You in America don't get to tell me how to do it. Okay. I get to bet the way I want to bet, and you can't shut me off because of it unless you can prove I have a problem, which is very difficult to do because that's like having an alcoholic walk into a bar and you say, I'm not serving you because you're an alcoholic. Well, you're telling me I am, but how do you know that I am? It's very difficult to do that, to dictate and tell someone behavior, how they're going to, in America, at least. It's very hard to police behavior in a private entity.
Yeah. But if I'm in a bar and I run the bar, and I own the bar, I don't have to serve you.
You don't have to, no, but you have to. I could go to court and try to say, wait a minute, you're serving everybody else. Why aren't you serving me? There has to be a history there to showcase why you wouldn't serve me.
Because every time you leave here, you're drop dead drunk.
Fine.
And I don't want you going out and getting in a car and killing somebody, and you cause problems for the customer.
If I do 50 bets a game, you have to prove to me that I'm a problem gambler. How do you prove that I'm a problem?
In that regard, I don't know how you'd prove that. I mean,
but they are. That's what they say. We're shutting you off because they're a lifetime loser, but it's the behavior that's causing them to shut off the gambler, not the winning. It's the behavior they're deciding.
Yeah, that part of that whole thing, I totally didn't understand.
It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. They're a lifetime loser, but we're shutting you off and we're kicking you out because, well, you could one day win. Wait, what? Well, one day your behavior, we're deeming your behavior to be sharp, even though you're not. What? Hold on a second. I thought you wanted to take my money. Well, no, one day you may take our money. So no, we're not going to, it's sorry. We just can't allow you to have that type of behavior here.
I don't get it.
Makes no sense. It makes absolutely that whole part of the industry conversation was like, and no one was asking, no one was pushing back.
Well, they didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people.
Nobody was ever going to go like, hey, can you recycle that for a second and say that again? What are you doing exactly? Like why? Can you talk to me like I'm dumb?
In fairness, they send a lot of people to that are, marketing people and CMOs and different things.
Shoots commented on that and said this is the whole the whole crux of his article. It's basically things you've talked about for a long period of time. And it goes back to, if you're a fan of the movie Casino, that last scene where they're blowing up all the casinos and the junk bonds came in and no one knows your name anymore. And the bellhop that you came in, you give him 100 and he took care of you for a weekend. He knew what to get. Vegas was very much about relationships. Vegas was very much about player and gambler or book and gambler and having that relationship. It happened at, the pits. It happened at the place you would go to. They would comp you and take care of you. They knew what side of the property you wanted to stay on when you booked. Now there's none of that. It's all plastic. It's all, names and numbers and no relationships. And he's saying in the sports betting world, because that is gone, we're seeing all these problems because we don't know the customer anymore. There's no more relationship anymore. You've talked about that forever, that people just don't know that anymore. There's no, the gambler versus book relationship is horrible because they don't know they don't know anything about each other at all.
And it doesn't have to be that way. That's the problem, because like I learned the business on an island in a room as big as your bottom floor. Like it wasn't big. And I had to learn who customers were just from numbers and, screen names and stuff. And if there was a problem, I got on the phone and said, what are you doing?
Right.
If you don't want to do this way, I'm going to send you your money and you can go bet somewhere else. I want to take your bets, but you're abusing this or you're doing that. One of my favorite stories is when that day that the whole city of Grand Rapids, Michigan tried to sign up for contests with referral bonuses. And by the fourth one, I said, hey, do you know, Joey, he lives right down the street. I looked it up on a map. Like, you guys this is great. Can you tell all your friends, cousins, uncles, and the rest of you, none of you are opening up an account anymore. You're more than welcome to open an account, but you ain't getting no more referral bonuses. Because I know it's the same guy with a different name, get a different address in a phone book. When you know to scam, you just put a stop to the scam.
Right.
If you're trying to take bets, you need to take bets. So if we can just, I think when you know the rules of the game up front and you have a relationship with each other. Now, there's no honor among thieves.
No.
But you don't have to be a thief on the other side of the counter. 11 is bigger than 10. That's where it starts. We could change the juice. Okay. So beat a book. If you want to beat a better and figure out a way to gang up on the book and figure out a way to beat them, okay. Well, just either be forthright about it, we'll get better at it, or we'll give you your money and go somewhere else. Now, the immediate reason to fight is ridiculous. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. They're making it that way because they got people making these decisions that don't ever, like Schutz talked about in the article. He used to walk the floor when he was an executive and then jump in on a dice game. Give me the stick. I'll pull the dice back. You get instant respect because you know what's going on.
Right.
He didn't ask, like he said in the article too, he didn't ask the customers a lot of times what was going on because it's always a complaint. The customers, they never tell you the good stuff. Ask the help. Hey, What's going on with the customers? Or what are you hearing? I was at the counter just this morning, but I was there yesterday too, watching a guy give the guy behind the counter crap about only having one rider on the horse side in the morning. The races weren't starting for an hour. There was another person coming in. I heard the explanation, and he still wasn't happy. You could go to the kiosk and put your own bets in if you're worried about getting shut out. He didn't want to do it. And I was like, oh, man, we're on reason number 10 million why I'm glad I'm not in the book right now, because they don't listen.
Yeah, it's tough. All right, back to baseball here. Casey's Bobby Witt. Here's your Royals portion of the show. 30th stolen base. Became the first shortstop in Major League Baseball history to go 30 for 30 in multiple years in his career. He did it back-to-back this year and last year. This kid needs to be talked about more. He needs more publicity.
JC's right.
He needs some more love, what this kid's doing. It's historic stuff now.
Yeah. This is, look, he's going to get the national coming out party when they make the playoffs.
Fair.
You know, everybody's going to know. There it is. JC from KC. You've been here every day, and we appreciate the hell out of you. Although you were late yesterday, you don't have to apologize for that because we know you're busy. But, I mean, you changed your avatar. You've been talking about him all this time. He is fun to watch. He's carrying that team.
He is.
He's doing everything that you could ever want or, ask for being the guy on the team. I love watching him play. I don't know if they're going to win a playoff series, but it's historic.
It is.
It is.
This is fun. September 18th, 1996. That was today, a bunch of years ago. Roger Clemens struck out 20 Tigers on the road in Detroit. Dave, he threw 151 pitches.
Oh, I remember where I was.
151 pitches. That's 2 or 3 games worth for certain pitchers now in Major League Baseball.
It's so funny. Like, I was hanging out at the pizza shop. We were watching this, and I was going crazy. I'm like, he's coming back out. They can't take him out. They're not taking him out. And I could, it's crazy. I could smell the pizza at this place called Claudio's in Pittsburgh. I remember exactly where I was watching.
So he did it 10 years after setting the record for Ks when he threw for 20 against the Mariners
in 86.
In 86.
Right.
He was 23 when he did that. He was 33 when he did the one that was set in 96. But this is crazy. This might be the most difficult stat to accomplish in a single game in baseball history. 13 players have hit 2 grand slams in one game. 13 players in the history of baseball have hit 2 grand slams in one game. There's only been 5 performances in the history of baseball with 20 Ks in a game.
Clemens twice, Kerry Wood once.
I'll tell you all 5 here in a second. It might be the most difficult stat to do. It might be the most difficult thing to accomplish in baseball history to do this. We just don't see it. So here are your 20 strikeout games in the history of baseball. Clemens in 1986, Clemens in 96, Wood in 98, Johnson in 2001, Max Scherzer in 2016.
Wow.
5 of them, 5 total. 2 were done by one guy.
Think we'll ever see that again?
Yes. Your boy might do it. Skeens might do it.
They don't leave him in long enough to do it.
Yeah, but when he's fully go, though, potentially. When he's full go, I think he could do it. 151 pitches it took him to do it, though. 9 innings, 20K. 151 pitches. Someone's getting fired. If you let Paul Skeens throw 151 pitches soon,
right?
Someone's getting fired.
That's what I don't think we'll see it again. I mean, somebody's going to get close, and then they got to go back out. Like they've thrown 122 pitches.
Disgusting. Could you imagine they yank somebody in that way? That would be like, how do you justify yanking somebody out in that moment?
Right. You have 17 Ks through 8. You got a shot to strike out the side, and you've thrown 128 pitches, and they're like, yeah, you can't go back out there. We're winning 8-0. What are you talking about?
JR, this is 9 innings we're talking about. 20 Ks, 9 innings, not pitchers that went 13
look
innings,
at this.
235 pitches is ridiculous.
Holy crap!
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
235 pitches in a game? I love when Johnny Parlay dials up these random stats like that. Can you imagine?
If a pitcher threw 150, you need 3 weeks off. Yeah, pretty much.
Trip right to the IL.
Yep. Goodbye. Shut him down. Danger, danger. Scary.
That is the crazy stat of the day. That's great. See,
there you go on that.
That's awesome.
13. It's just crazy to think how random a grand slam is, and then how random to hit a grand slam twice in one game. In all the days, in all the games.
I can't believe there's been 13 of those.
13 of those. There's only been 5 20K games in 9 innings in the history of Major League Baseball. 5. Might be the hardest thing to do in baseball. It's crazy.
Yeah. I can't believe it. I would have guessed there would have been like 5 2 grand slams in a game. I mean, you have to come up with the bases loaded twice in a game and hit the bomb both times. Like, the chances of it happening are so minuscule.
Vic, do you know my mom? Because that would be something my mother would say. Legitimately, that's something my mom would say. That the reason why people are so soft is because they're not breastfed anymore. My mom's a lactation consultant, in case you guys are wondering why I'm making that joke. But that's something I grew up with that. So, yes.
Mama P watching the show, Betty?
I don't know, Mom P's watching the show, but she would love that comment. She would be like, Vic, I love you. She's like, absolutely true. Breastfeed your kids. They're going to be able to throw 200 pitches in the game. They're going to be able to handle it. All right, so here's the Tiger portion of the show. The Tigers trailed the Twins by 9.5 games on August 22nd. That's not for the division. That's just how many games back they were of them.
Right.
Since Detroit is 17-7 and the Twins are 9-15. Twins are up by 2 games for the final playoff spot in the American League. Twins Guardians today. They're dogs.
Why do we do it? We don't mean to, again, D-Stout, king of car seats. We love Minnesota. We really do. It just feels like, D-Stout came in the chat yesterday. I saw it when I watched the replay, and he said, I missed you guys besmirching the Twins. I love it. They're using the word. You guys get the show. It's so good. But I was watching the Tigers yesterday. I was watching them, and I mean, even Lou texted me late, like, these Tigers, something, they just won't go away. They won't quit.
We got BB going for the Guardians. They're favored. So who do we like today? Twins Guardians. Kind of like the Guardians, don't you?
Of course.
Okay. Scooble goes for the Tigers.
I love it.
It's Scooble Day for them.
I love it.
I mean, it's 2 in the loss column. Guardians win, Tigers win. It's 1 as we come down the stretch with 10, 11 games to go here for that last wild card spot.
I'm looking now.
It feels like one of those races where, like, one is running out of gas and the other one just slowly passes them to win the race. Because this is who you want going if you're the Tigers. Right now, cut it to 1, and then it's butt clench time for the Twins.
Wow, Scooble minus 130, 135.
Scooble versus Marsh is just unfair. Marsh is a scrub. I'll give you that.
What's the total on that game?
7.5.
Oh,
open at 8. Bet down to 7.5.
Wow. I don't know. What's your first read on that?
Tigers.
A Tigers side. I'm talking total.
Oh, under.
I don't know. Might have shot too low with that one.
Yeah, they may hammer Marsh. It's possible.
Wow.
But the Royals aren't going to score much on Scooble. 1-2. I mean, this is where you let Scooble go. Like, you just let him go. It's your game, kid. Go off. All you. Ooh, but he says 4-3 Kansas City. He likes the dog.
He always likes the dog, most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Lean at Scooble. I like over, though. First thought.
Yeah, I would take Scooble on this, but me and baseball.
8's better number.
Yeah, no, thank you with me in baseball. This story is wild, and I don't know where we go here. Tennessee, and this is real, this is frontofficesports.com story, are planning on adding a talent surcharge fee to its ticket prices next year. They will charge fans 10% for a talent fee on football tickets, of which that money will go directly to pay for football players at Tennessee. Salaries at Tennessee.
Crazy.
What is this? I mean, Pearl Jam was right. Surcharges are the devil. This is ridiculous. This is wrong. But why? I mean, this whole term of general manager, I'm still not getting my brain around when it comes to what's going on in college athletics. That we talk about Woj later, and Woj just became one. But like, we're going to have the fans be taxed to pay the players at Tennessee? This can't be legal, right? This can't be legal.
I don't know, counselor. You with the legal argument. It's just not right. I don't know why. Again, is this floating out, them floating it out there like DraftKings floated out the fee and the tax that they were going to pass on to the customer?
I don't think it's floated out there. I think
they're just doing it.
They're doing it, and basically they're going to say, "Come try to stop us." Essentially,
So what do? You just don't go to the game?
No, I think fans will pay it. If Tennessee wins, they don't care. You kidding me? Vol fans? No, Vol fans want wins. Okay, you're trying to charge me 10% more? Okay. What are we getting for it? See, the problem is when you start to add these things, and if my money's paying for the quarterback and the quarterback sucks, my voice gets louder now. I get more angry now. Now you're like the NFL. I'm going to call my local talk radio show. I'm going to call my favorite podcast. I'm going to email. I'm going to hate tweet. I'm going to get very vocal because I'm paying you now. I mean, you become an employee of the fans, which is what professional sports is all about. College always had that one layer of protection. Hey, it's a college kid. It's not a pro. He's a college kid. All right. Just take it easy. Okay. Like, they're trying to find ways to be successful in life, not just football. Well, hold on a second. I'm getting paid 10% more to watch this because, my money's paying you. Danger.
I don't know if this was, good, bad, and different, but you opened up all kinds of doors to things that I think might have been going on, were going on, all that other stuff. But now I saw Deion's quote yesterday. Did you see it when he talked about that?
No.
So he talked about that exact thing.
Okay.
And he turned it and said, you all are mad now that these kids are making more money than you. So you're coming at college kids.
That's such a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah.
They were making more money before. That's ignorant, Deion. That's ignorant.
It was really wasn't a good look. And now this isn't a good look. This isn't. At what point do you go, you know what? I love going to the games. I ain't paying it. I'm not paying it. I don't want to go.
Yeah, it's calling the bluff of fans. In the South, they'll pay it. They won't even question it.
Will they pay it if they go 6-5?
Yeah. They paid it when the team sucked. They paid it after Fulmer and they couldn't find a single win to save their lives. They still went. Same with Bama fans when they watch Mike Price and Mike Dubose and they watch disaster. It's part of their life. You take away Bama football, you take away Tennessee football, Auburn football, LSU football. Nah. It's what they do.
Go. LL just said Tennessee has a 15K waiting list for season tickets.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want.
They can do whatever they want. It's just a question of whether or not you're going to have to, whether the NCAA / NIL, there are two very large court cases currently in the courts at the moment that they will rule on what is allowed and what is not allowed. So just as fans, I think everybody needs to question and wonder and ask the right questions about, is this what we want? Do we want this for college athletics? Okay. If I'm paying, if I'm paying $1,000, now I'm paying $1,100, and that $100 is going to the athletic department to pay the player. How is it broken up? Who gets to break it up? How much money are we talking? Is there a salary cap? Is there a salary floor?
Does that make you feel better as the person buying the ticket?
No, it makes me sick, but I just believe that that's what needs to happen now. Because in the NFL, we have a salary cap. We have a parameter that what you must operate inside of from a competition standpoint. So we're going to say, because volunteer fans have a 15,000 wait list for season tickets, and we put 110,000 fans into Neyland Stadium, we're going to do whatever we want. And you play here, you make $1 million a year. You're starting quarterback at Tennessee, we'll pay you $1 million a year. Come play.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to even see it. Like, I just, if I want to go and you tell me what the ticket costs and I pay it and I go, what you do with the money is on you. Like, I don't want to know where it's going.
You got to win. I would agree, but it's to entice transfers. It's to entice recruiting. Recruiting is the lifeblood. It's always been about money. The money's always been under the table. Money wasn't like this. Money wasn't straightly. It was all covert. It wasn't better. I'm not saying it was right, but this is okay. This is different. This is a different look for college athletics. This is different. Tomorrow we talked a bit with Emerson, but we have Thursday night football tomorrow. The Patriots are now 6-point dogs at New York. The total is 38.5. The question is, Dave, should the Jets be on upset alert given what we have seen here this year? NFL underdogs of 5.5 points or more are now 9-1 against the spread, with 5 of them being wins outright. The Jets are now 6-point favorites, but they were 6.5-point favorites. That would make them the biggest favorite over the Patriots since September 11th, 2000. It's a long time ago, 24 years ago.
Hello.
Was the last time this happened.
Yep.
Numbers coming down. Move on the Patriots came today. Right move?
I just saw the numbers. Who's comfortable laying more than 3 in an NFL game right
on
now?
A Thursday, on a short week?
I don't know what the Jets are. I mean, I watched a lot of the game against Tennessee. All this talk about the defense.
Where's the defense?
Is like, I mean, the defense hasn't been dominating. It's been good. It was good in the Tennessee game. It was terrible in the first game against San Francisco. And they got run over, beat up. They knew the plays that come and they couldn't stop them.
Yeah.
Everybody has games like that. But I don't know. The Patriots defense is really good. And it has been.
They just lost their captain, though. Bentley out for the year sucks. They lost their best player. So yeah, but it's okay. I mean, next man up. I took 6.5 last night. I took it. I was like, give me the Patriots. Give me this. They'll lose, but they'll lose the same way they lost to the Seahawks. 3-point last second field goal. Rodgers will lead them down the field, get in the field goal range. 23-20 type final. I have no clue on the total. I can't play it. I can't even tease it. I don't even know which way I would tease it. Like, my first inclination is to tease it down to 32.5 and bet over, but I don't know. Like, that worries me.
At 38.5, you don't really, if you take it up, you can still get beat.
Easy.
Right? It's not high enough where you feel comfortable. So,
like 52, like I was, on Monday.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm good. 52, I'm good. I'm not good at 44.5. I don't. It's going to be a sweat. I mean, that's going to be time. I don't know. I may just take the 6.5 and say forget it and not tease the game at all. I may just take the dog and just sit on the Patriots ticket and not pay the extra juice.
Give the boys and girls another poll to vote on for this. We'll get a feel for it today. We'll talk about it obviously more tomorrow because the game's tomorrow. But Pats, Jets, over, under. You want to go over 38.5 or under 38.5? What's your first read? Vote on the poll right now.
Over for me.
Yeah, see, and I default to the under. So.
I do too, but in this game, it's so damn low. This is an Iowa total. I mean, this is so damn low, 38 and a half.
Almost, not quite, but
this is dumb. This is hard. It's hard because I think Rodgers can potentially put some points up on the Patriots, but as long as Brissett doesn't turn the football over, they're going to run on everyone. They're going to run the football on everyone. That's just Patriots will be able to run the ball.
Fathead just came in the chat and said dogs and under are 6-1 in primetime games. Thank you for that.
And that's why teasing them up has been so profitable.
Right.
And so I may do it. I want to see what number it goes, because if I can get the Patriots at 12, okay, plus 12, I'm good there. It's all the total. What direction will I move the Patriots total? I don't know. Part of me says up and under, but I don't know. I got to wait for tomorrow.
Check. Joe TFP said rain in New York through tomorrow night. Got to keep an eye on that. Teased.
Teased is 6-1. Okay. Well, that's fine because I'm 4-0.
Under teased. Yeah.
I haven't missed a primetime teaser yet. Same game teaser.
Yeah, they've been good.
I'm 4-0 on the year.
Not even really sweats either.
Nope. But a couple of them have, from the total perspective, a couple of them have been have gone over the initial, but stayed under the tease total. So
right.
A couple of them have come in and done that for me. This is interesting. We can skip ahead to a couple of stories because we went long with Alex. Earnings and More is a newsletter that is really, really awesome. And we worked with the guys when we were all at Props before, so we know them really well. They have an awesome article out today about Fliff, and talking with industry insiders in the sports betting community. Fliff is crushing it in Texas and California.
Yeah, they're building up a huge database.
Their evaluation has gone up to $60 million. It was $13 million 2 years ago. It's $60 million now. According to insiders, if this continues in the next 3 to 5 years in Texas and California, if they ever go legal, Fliff will make FanDuel and DraftKings bit players, minor players in the two biggest states we are waiting for to go legal in sports betting.
Mm-hmm.
Is the government going to do anything about this? Are they just going to sit back and let this happen? Because the social sports books are operating in the grayest of gray areas, and Fliff is dominating the space at the moment.
They're not going to do anything. Not now. They can't. They got better lawyers.
Why can't
they? They got better lawyers. They already know the loophole and they're exploiting it. It's good. It's good for them. And again, they're building up the business. I love the valuation things, though. You get a couple insiders to say that the valuation is this, and then you raise some money from, wealthy people, and you say the valuation is this, and then you keep doing it. It's awesome. Like, more power to them. But I've seen companies that, have certain valuations go bankrupt too.
But how is it legal?
What do you mean, counselor? You in this legal thing. They're doing it. It's not the legal sports.
All I have to do is
why they're not doing it in states that they're legal in.
I just need an in-between. Rather than paying you directly, I just need you to buy some mythical fake coin, and then that coin is applied a value, and then I pay you real money for that value, and that no longer is a sports gambling sports book. Like,
it's amazing. The casino game stuff they're doing is even crazier. I mean, they figured it out. People that I talk to in the space have told me they're in it and they're not going anywhere. They're entrenched, and they're going to. Yeah, it kind of does sound like crypto, Joe the Fat Panda, and Butchie, loopholes are us. You could be right about that. I mean, they
middleman that somehow makes it legal. That's true, Kevin. That's basically the simplest way of putting it. That's basically what it does. It's not direct 1v1, $1 to $1. It's $1 to here, and that up and over gets you over the law and makes it legal. And yet we're watching them explode in two major markets. They're advertising in California and in Texas. They're not just hiding. They are advertising aggressively. If you live in one of those two states, you know what I'm talking about. You see Fliff ads all the time.
All the time.
You want a sports book? You want a sports gamble? We got your sports book. We got your sports gambling. Here you go.
Ironically, while we were still with Props, we had Fliff reads.
We did.
and no one knew.
No, we know people. I mean, on both of our phones, we have the people who are heavily invested in Flip.
We do. Yeah. I wonder if they're interested in the show. That's one.
I would tell them if they were in front of me, and I would say, you have to explain to me how this is legal. And I know what they would say. We don't care. It is right now. So until it's not, we don't care.
That's the thing, I think. And, we've had people on the show also to say things of why it might not be, but it's not right now. And until it's not, they're going to keep going because they are building a database of names and people that want to be in the space or interested in the gambling, whether it's casino,
players, it's gamblers,
sports betting, whether it's slots. They're building it and building it and building it and building it. I don't know. It's going to go until it's not, for sure.
It's going to go until it's not.
I don't know until it's not.
I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. I got to be honest. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it should. I think there should be somebody asking the right questions.
Oh, I mean, that Industry Insider newsletter talked about they're raising the money. They raised the money. They got the money. So somebody believes in it. Now, whether they're
no, they're talking about selling already. I mean, that's Earnings and More's big piece was on whether Flip is going to sell, because before the government ever comes in, that FanDuel and DraftKings might buy them out.
Well, that's so many people that sell to. That said that in the article. They're not interested in selling right now. They're still interested in building, but they don't have to. They don't have to say anything about profits, because for whatever money they got enough, so they're profitable already, which is good because there's not a lot of companies in the space that are profitable,
right,
or have been profitable yet. So
$60 million valuation in 2 years from 13 million. Flip is doing, regardless if it's legal or not, they're doing something right. They're doing something right. They're growing fast at what they're doing.
Yeah.
On a Wednesday, we take a look at the quick first looks at NFL games for Sunday. Your Chargers or your Steelers are facing a 2-0 Chargers team. Numbers 2.5, totals 35.5. Dave.
Yeah.
35.5.
I'm more interested in the one. Like that, there's ones out there now.
Okay.
Chargers could end up favored in Pittsburgh.
Wow.
On the second week of a road trip where they were in Carolina and they're staying East Coast.
They should.
I think, I'm not sure if they're in Pittsburgh, but they're close.
Okay.
So they're there all week. They didn't fly back. That's usually a bet against. But when they stay, I had guys that would, bet them just because they stayed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that helps a West Coast team when they don't go back?
But it helps, but this is Pittsburgh and that defense at home. I mean, I don't think J.K. Dobbins is running all over the Steelers defense.
I don't think so either.
So I lead towards Pittsburgh. They can't run the football. They can't move the football.
I think I like under.
Yeah. Well, at 35.
If it gets below 35, I think that's the number, right? Like,
yeah.
But I mean, the Steelers only have one touchdown in 2 games. Vic Ferrari, I like the Chargers wherever they go right now. Fair.
I think Gorov's right though. Tease the hell out of it.
Right.
Tease the Steelers. If we get one, tease Pittsburgh up.
Did you put that poll up for the total for the Thursday night game?
68% came in on the under.
Oh, I missed it. I didn't see it. Oh, you already closed it.
Yeah, 68% came in the under.
Okay.
On that one.
Yet to be determined. We'll have a better feel for this by Friday.
2-0 Houston, laying 2.5 at 2-0 Minnesota. Give me the Texans. Give me the Texans.
Really?
I don't believe the Vikings are this good. I'm sorry, I don't. I ain't buying it.
Wednesday looks still against Minnesota. Home dog against San Francisco. Win outright. Home dog against Houston.
I just think it was more the Niners than it was more. It was just more the Niners to me. I watched the game. Wasn't overly impressed. I thought the Niners played like absolute dog crap. Their defense was awful.
I don't know. This is first lean here is Minnesota.
But I'll say this: teaser special for the Vikings. This could be a long teaser for me. I'll watch this game. This stays at 2.5 and closes at 2.5. Vikings plus 8.5.
Another under, right?
Probably so. I mean, it stays under 49, so it qualifies for a long teaser. So,
yeah, number's going to come down.
Ooh.
Just keep an eye on it. If you like under, bet under 46 before it goes to 45.
Oh, the total's going to come down.
Oh, yeah. What'd I say?
No, you said it's going to come down. I didn't know you meant the total of the side.
Total,
which one's going to come down?
Total
come down. Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Yeah. Total's going to come down.
Butchie, I'm 4-0 on teasers, big boy. I don't know if you want me to have an account or not. I don't know if you want that right now.
Butchie would give anybody an account. Don't take it personally. He wants to give everybody an account.
Caesar's down to 1.5.
Yeah.
Wow. So the move came here on the Vikings on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, not yet. It's going to. Yeah.
It's 2.5 here in town.
No, LL. Fellas don't all bet teasers. No.
I love teasers. How high is San Fran at the Rams going to get? It's 7.5. We going to 9? No Cooper Kupp. No Puka Nacua.
On the road? I don't think so.
A lot of folks are coming down from NorCal to go to this game. Be a lot of silver and a lot of gold and red in that building.
I don't know. No Debo. No McCaffrey.
Right.
That ain't going much higher. It's already gone to like Circa went to 7, late 15.
Ooh, okay.
So, you got to find out where the top is. You don't need to go higher than 7.5. They're going to tease it down. San Francisco will be the most teased game side, right?
Just like the Ravens last week.
Yeah, but the Ravens were at home.
Right.
And it wasn't a division game. This is a division game, and they're on the road. Every reason in the world, like the books are all going to need the Rams. There's not a book on planet Earth that won't need the Rams by the time this game kicks off.
Okay.
And it'll probably be a pretty significant decision.
And then finally, Cleveland's laying 6.5 against the Giants.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel heavy to you?
More?
No, it should be less.
Oh.
This seems heavy to me. 6.5.
Yeah. I had to send in the plays yesterday for the Bettis show. And
okay.
So picking the division games, I said to take the Giants. They had 7. I think. Yeah, they had 7.
Okay.
So I said, take Giants. I can't remember where I picked it.
Yeah.
It's ugly, but like until further notice, I'll probably look to play against Cleveland. No.
Yes. I mean, this is a field goal game. This is 3-4 points. 6.5 points.
The Giants are so bad. They got to be so power rated like Kaka.
Yeah, they're awful.
To be this much of a dog against a team that I don't think is going to score very many points. Has a lot of questions as well. I don't know. I wouldn't be using Cleveland in a survivor.
No.
Like if you have to use a survivor.
Just fade the Panthers. Just whoever the Panthers are playing, but just pick them.
You want to take Vegas at home?
Yeah.
You're good with that?
On a survivor? Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
On a survivor, I am. Yeah. Home opener. Yeah. I'm good with it.
Cincinnati Monday night against Washington at home after losing in Kansas City.
Cool.
That's your survivor pick.
Can you imagine they open up 0-3?
They're not losing that game.
A lot of folks are going to be petrified taking the Bengals after what happened week 1.
I know.
They're going to be petrified. Their life on the line for the Bengals that already blew it. I don't think you can use the Bengals. Not yet.
Oh, I mean,
Vegas is your pick.
You want to use Vegas?
Yeah, at home
against the Red Rifle?
Yeah, against Andy Dalton. Yes.
Oh
100%.
man,
Minshew at home opener for the Raiders. Yeah, Raiders coming off a huge win over the Ravens. Get some love. Come back home.
every sharp guy in the world's going to have Carolina
Great. Again, take the Panthers again. You've jumped off the cliff twice and lost twice. You can do it again. Keep on doing it. That's fine. Yeah. But this is a money line play. It's not I don't need to worry about the spread. Just a money line play. Yeah, I just fade that until further notice, until they look like even kind of like a team. Better to book it. Better to book a time. Patriots plus 6.5 against the Jets. I got it before the move last night.
As of right now, that's a bet. It's a low-scoring game, 21-17.
Yep.
That's the number that comes into my head. Jets win.
That's 38. That's right on the total, or it is 38.5. So
right around there.
Right there. I jumped on this before it moved. Michigan State's on the road at Boston College. Now, I faded BC against Florida State, and I lost. So I'm back again fading Bob. And I know if Covey's in the chat, he's going to get mad at me. He's like, you can't fade Bob. I can fade Bob because this number is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. A Big Ten team is on the road to the worst environment in Power 5 football. There is no home field advantage for Boston College. Alumni Stadium is a morgue. No one goes. No one pays attention. It is silent there. I took Michigan State on the road against Maryland in week 1. They won the game outright. They're going on the road to Boston College. They're catching 7. BC may win the game. Give me the Big Ten team on the road to run the football down BC's throat. Michigan State might win the game. They might win the game outright. Better to book it. Michigan State.
Really?
Yep.
Hold on. That's Boston College. They're canceling the sponsorship opportunity.
Oh, well.
Bostonian versus the book.
My dad gave him $120,000 to go to law school. We're good.
Oh, jeez.
We're good. We're good. They owe me money. Forget, they should sponsor this show.
We were trying to get that lined up like a legacy at a fraternity. Trying to, listen, the kid's dad paid for the law school. Let's give some back here. You can have Tuesdays, which are still available, by the way, if you're watching the show. You want to come in on Tuesdays for the rest of the football season. We have some partners already lined up. Thank you again to Sporttrade for that. Tomorrow we got Prime, and Monday's Rhythm. Tuesdays is good for Boston College.
Fridays are to be announced.
Correct. Hopefully we'll get that locked down. I don't know. Again, it's Wednesday, so you firing these bets is good. You grab the right number because it's going to come down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think Boston College wins, but I've never been to a game there. I don't know the environment, all that other stuff, whatever.
There's only one game where BC is hard to play. One game. Notre Dame at Boston College is the only time that is a rocking environment.
Right.
That's it. Other than that, it's like, where's Michigan State? East where? Like, what states? They're from Michigan, but where? Ann Arbor? No. They're the blue team, right? So who's the green team? I don't know who they are. Who's the green? What's a Spartan? Like, I swear to God. Right, no knowledge, zero, none, zip. BC fans, there are none to really talk about. This is not going to be hard for Michigan State to walk in there. I think they win the game. They can win the game outright. They can beat Boston College.
Florida State, they hung with Missouri.
On the road. This is home. This is a different story. They're better on the road than they are at home. Better environment. Get more jacked up and excited.
First jacked up reference.
And then finally, Orioles, Giants over 8.
PSA from Konowinski. Yes. Thank you.
Get your picks.
Everyone, remember to get your Big Ten Survivor picks in for the contest for the BBB Big Ten Survivor, because apparently Claircheck missed because he forgot to put his pick in. JPC to 4th.
Bummer.
Terrible.
Ross Reynolds knows BC fans show up after the first, leave before halftime. See?
They don't even stay for the first half? That's it?
0. Anyways, Orioles, Giants over 8. Better to book it.
Wait, hold on. Stop the presses. You got a baseball game in there?
Yeah, 1. Number 1 road over team. Number 5 home over team, playing each other with 2 bad pitchers.
Sorry, Will. Holy shit. You got a baseball game?
Yes.
I just want to see if Will's still watching by the end of the show here. Birdsong, Kramer, over 8. Till I dive a little deeper into this is probably a bet.
Yeah. Although it's my betting of baseball, so you may want to.
That was my hesitation.
You may want to
like,
fade it.
I just said in my head, I'm like,
Butchie agrees. Butchie says over. Okay. Butchie was over.
Okay.
If you guys are watching on replay on SiriusXM or listening on SiriusXM or watching on SportsGrid, thank you. We appreciate it. Tomorrow we'll be back with a Prime Time Thursday, brought to you by Prime Sportsbooks. Thanks to Alex Kane of Sporttrade coming on for a Well Watch Wednesday. The rest of you guys don't move because we have bonus time coming right now. I love this too because Ross, he knows this. As a ticket holder, I hate my fan base.
Ross has season tickets
to Boston College. Not hard to get. Those aren't hard. There's no 15,000 person wait list for Boston College season tickets. I promise you that.
Right?
It's the biggest snooze fest. I've been to so many games. It's such a snooze fest. I was at a game. The last BC game I went to was probably 6 years ago. It's such a snooze fest. It's just as being where I've been.
I wonder if we can get Ross a white hat with the BC colors.
Okay, sure.
To get a BVB hat at the game.
I'm sure.
As a season ticket holder, he probably could get close to the field too. It doesn't sound like
every seat's close to the field. It's a high school football stadium. It's not even a college stadium. It's a joke. Alumni Stadium's a joke. It's an absolute clown. Both UMass and BC both have absolute clown show stadiums. They're embarrassing. Now, hockey is a different story.
Hockey tickets. Hello.
Hockey season tickets. Now that's an environment. You go to Boston College sporting events for hockey because their games are fucking awesome. Those are wild. I love BC hockey games. The Bean Pot is tremendous. Any BC BU game. I love when BC goes on the road. They played Merrimack, where I used to grow up. I grew up watching Merrimack and Boston College play. It was awesome. That's a different story. Worst stadium, UMass, CBW. UMass has the worst.
Could that maroon be the maroon? It's not the Boston College maroon.
Boston College is not maroon. It's scarlet. It's not maroon.
That's going to be a tough one to match.
Scarlet and gold are BC's colors.
Yeah.
So not maroon. It's a harder thing to go ahead and grab onto. Yeah, it's even worse than tea and crumpets, Vic. It's not even. It's even worse. Oh, there we go. What number should I call? Text. We don't call it. Don't call it. Text.
Text the number 702-570-8255, 702-570-TALK.
Yes.
We'll do that, Ross. We'll see what we can do. I'm going to see the hat guy right after the show.
Let's go. Favorite thing about today is what? I'll be there later this afternoon too, actually, after the gym.
Perfect. Two things. One, I can't believe Woj retired. We skipped that part of the story today, but we'll maybe touch on it tomorrow. That was a big deal.
Do you know he left $20 million on the table?
Yeah, he must really wanted out.
He wanted to get the fuck away from everybody who wanted to bother him on Twitter. Became the GM of a basketball of his alma mater in St. Bonaventure. But have you ever been to Ole in New York?
I have not.
I mean, it's the fucking moon.
Oh no.
It's the moon.
Is it really?
Ole in New York is like there's nothing there. It's an hour south of Niagara Falls.
Oh, I've driven through it then. If I drove from Penn State up to Niagara Falls, I've probably driven through it.
All there is to do there is drink and get girls pregnant. Like that's all there is to do.
Sounds like a hell of a place. What the hell's going on there?
It's all that happens there. It's just like drunken sex and parties because there's nothing else to do but get loaded. Like it is unbelievable how bad that place is. Ole in New York is. I went there every single year. There's Canada too. Yes, that's when I went to Canada. That's where I went to Canada. When I went to Ole in New York, I went to Canada for the first time when UMass played St. Bonaventure. Their basketball court or stadium is tiny. Oh, sorry, Will. Will's watching the show. So
thanks, Will.
It's all there is to do there. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It is like it's like Kentucky of the North. That's all that's what I would say it.
Wow.
Just nothing to do. You just get wasted all the time. And I remember first time I went there, I asked the kid who went there, why did you pick to go to school here? Like what possessed you to go here? And they're like, well, it gave me scholarship money, so I went.
That's
It's
fine.
Same bottom. So I'm like, he's choosing to go there. Like, he's choosing to go there.
You never know what someone's going through. You
That's
really
true.
don't. And it might just be time. He's tired of all the stuff that he was doing.
He wants to get away.
That's a ton of money on the table. Wants to go back to his roots, or where he went to college. He's an alumni.
Yep. He's been on the board there. He's been working with Sept for a long time. So they offered him the job to be the GM of the basketball program. So he gets to go there. This whole GM thing is taking me a hard time to get used to.
I'm really strange.
I'm not getting used to it. Bama's makes $900,000 a year. Bama's football GM, like GM, like they're called
good gig.
General manager.
Hey, it's a pick up and drop off guy. We're gonna figure out the money. Listen. I'm down for that. Anybody want to talk to me about that? I'll be interested to learn about that job. General manager. Oh, I don't even have to be Penn State. I'll do it down the street here at UNLV. I don't.
Yeah. We
can figure out who gets the money. Tell me where to get it from and put it in. That's great. That's it. So that's my one. Quick timeout though. I just saw in the chat.
Yeah.
A guy named Eric Comrade said, guys, my brother was in an accident this morning. If y'all could just say a prayer for him. His name is Justin. Eric, we got your back. Thanks for being here. God,
sorry, man.
Prayers up for your brother Justin. Hopefully, things end up okay. And that's going to be my second favorite thing about today. You tweeted it last night. I retweeted it this morning. It gives me goosebumps hearing it. It's fantastic. It's just and the further away it gets, the more it hits home every day. Like, because I remember my excitement getting ready to talk to you. I was in the house and Jess was like, would you relax? I'm like, nope. I got to call this kid. This kid's going to call me. Robert's going to call me. I got to be ready to go, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, well, calm down. I'm like, I'm calm. I'm excited. Like, I'm doing the call with P-Rolt for the radio show. And I was at the kitchen. I was in the kitchen. The phone was on the island. And I was like walking around. I was animated. And she's like, are you good? I'm like, I'm great. I'm great. Yes, I'm great. We did the call. And I thought of so many things last night after I heard it again. And I thought that was 4 years ago today.
September 18th, 2020.
I can't believe it. And I think
September 17th. Sorry, September 17th.
Yeah, it was last night. Yeah, today's the 18th. It was
yesterday.
But I thought about so many things that's happened between now and then, and thought, this is a perfect example of always forward, never straight. Like, there is no rhyme, reason, path that could have told us today we would be here on that phone call. And on that, I mean, like, there are so many things.
Wild. We stop and think about it. It's really wild. It's September 17th, 2020. I was still married. We were in the middle of a pandemic.
Seen you in months.
Months.
We couldn't come over to
anybody. We didn't see anybody. We saw nobody for absolute months. It was, we left in, March, I left the studio in March. I remember getting the text from Jess when it was like, first time I ever corresponded with Jessica when she told me what had happened.
Right.
A week prior. She said, hey, this is Jessica. I'm Dave's wife. I'm texting from Dave's phone. Dave had a stroke. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think I'd hear from you for months. Like, I thought you were like, I was like, my God, hopefully he's okay. And I was like, I remember having conversations with Robert, like, okay, we got to talk to CG and figure out what we're doing with this. And do we kill the segment? Do we keep going? Like, how do we do it? And you're like, no, I'm good. Like, what? You're good? Oh yeah, I'm on the show. I was like, what the fuck? You're on the show? How is that possible? You had a stroke a week ago. You're like, yeah, I'm all good. Let's go. Call me. Let's go. I was like, and then listening to you, I remember talking to Robert going like, what does he sound like? He's like, he sounds great. I'm like, what? How's that possible? He's like, I don't know, but he sounds totally, completely normal. Like, he sounds like Dave. Okay. So we put you on. It was like, miracle. What the fuck? Yeah. You sound like if you had said like you had a stroke a week ago, I'm like, shut up. No, you didn't. Come on. That's impossible. There's no way. You can't sound like this.
I know.
You can't sound this good.
I know. I mean, the doctors in the hospital couldn't believe it. The speech therapist couldn't believe it. And again, I'm just reminded of like, you just got to keep going. Kincaid said it earlier this week on Monday. I mean, you get down in your darkest times and you got to fight. And doesn't always win, but you got to fight. And if you get knocked down, get the fuck up.
Right.
And if you get knocked down again, get the fuck up again. Like, you just got to keep figuring it out. And it's okay to get hit and get knocked down. And it's okay to, you know, sometimes the universe tells you, like, it's time to move on. It's time to just, you know, make a move. And like, I literally, for about 30 minutes last night, I was by myself and I saw the tweet. You sent the text. Jess has already been sleeping.
It popped up right on my Facebook, and I was like, because we've talked about it, like, where's that audio? And so it popped up, and I was like, fuck. So I sent it to you, and I was like, can you guys open this? Because it's on my Facebook page. And then I put it on the Discord channel, and it wouldn't open on the Discord channel. And I was like, shit. Okay. So then I went back to my phone, and like, I'm just going to screen grab it off my phone.
Right.
And so I have it on my phone.
Right.
So that's how I got it. And that's how I posted it to Discord. I posted it to Twitter. I sent it to you. So you have it. And like, I was like, okay, like, we got to at least have this.
Right.
We got to have this. Like, this is an important thing to have.
It was great.
So, it was cool.
It was just, and I thought about the steps to get here today. And then, you know, this morning I had a heart doctor appointment, and I got really good news. Like,
that's
awesome.
You know,
we're good. We got to keep working, keep walking, but listen to your body and all this other stuff. I mean, Jess met me there. She went to work. I hugged and kissed her goodbye. Thanked her for coming. I got in the car and I kind of teared up. I'm like, I'm really happy and blessed. Like, I think about it every day. And I'm like, well, this and that soundbite are my favorite thing about today. Like, I already thought I hadn't even started the car, and I'm thinking about the show.
Right.
And I'm going, all right, I got to get my ass home because we got to get Alex and we got to get the show done so you can get to class. And it just, it's just, man, I just feel really, really lucky and thankful for the show, for you, for, you know, just being alive, all of it together. The soundbite hit different. And I think it's going to hit different every year. You know,
Agreed.
I sent it to the kids, you know, because they weren't home.
Nice.
They were, you know, they were outside doing, you know, because they were like, Daddy's got to talk to that guy about the show, you know. So she got them all outside and made sure they weren't inside, you know, so there was no background noise because we were trying to be professional and all that other stuff. And I wanted to swear and be like, I'm fucking here. Like, I was so excited.
It was before you did. I mean, it's funny too, because it's before you did anything really with media. It's before you really decided you were still in the book. You still worked for CG.
The book had just closed the week before.
Yeah, you still were working at there. Technically, we're with CG. You weren't.
I was on the.
That's when everything in September of 2020, like, we had all kind of the shock and awe of COVID had all kind of. We got back to thinking, okay, where's football? Okay, where's the normalcy? Like, what do we? And it wasn't there. It was all empty stadiums, and it was all just. I remember getting a phone call 2 weeks prior. At the time, I was in radio. My biggest client was Jeep, and I was talking to Jeep, and they were like, "Hey, we're cutting all advertising. We're not going to come back for the rest of the year. We're done until next January. We're not advertising." And they already had cut in March. They paused everything in March, and I was like, "Oh shit." This is a huge chunk of my income that just went out the window. I don't know what I'm going to do here. And it was like, I remember being panicked, going like, I don't know what the fuck we're going to do now, because no one's advertising. And big chunk of my career, of my salary at Raiders Radio, was to do sales. And like, it set me into a tailspin of like, what do we do? I didn't know what was going to happen at that. And that's in September of 2020. I can't tell you how big of a crossroads that was for me, not just for your life, but also my life. And that's where I really came up with the idea of like getting the hell out of radio and starting a show like this. Because I started talking to you about it, going like, I don't want to be tied to somebody else ever again. I don't want to have everything where I got to be worried about putting on the show because they can't sell. They can't get on the air. They can't keep going at all. And they're telling all of us, hey, by the way, you're all taking 25% pay cuts. Like, just lopped it off across the board. It was nuts.
That's the same way with, I mean, in March when they came in and let us all go, and they just said, go home and file for unemployment. We don't need you. And I mean, I went back all summer, but in September, they were playing games in a bubble.
Yeah. Basketball
was in a bubble. The hockey was in a bubble. They weren't letting fans at the games. They played that whole season in the NFL with no one in the stands. It was so bizarre. And it was only 4 years ago.
Yeah. It feels like it was an eternity, but it was
it feels like it was another life.
Only 4 years ago. was not that long ago. There's kids who started freshman year who are graduating this year who were in high school. Like, it doesn't make a lick of sense.
None of it.
It really doesn't. It was betting on Madden simulators. Oh, Joe, remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Betting on all the different nuanced
I
crap
talked
they
to a
had.
guy at EA Sports about doing a show with lines and stuff, and I was like, what are we doing?
What are we doing? How are we doing this?
Really?
Virtual games? Will we ever go back? I remember thinking, like, will we ever go back to stadiums? Like, will we ever go back to just being around each other? Like, and then you go, like, I went shopping yesterday at the outdoor mall at the outlets. And like, I remember I was walking around and I was going like, man, 4 years ago, we never could do this. We wouldn't do this. So now we're all back and acting like it never happened. Like it just, it was nothing. Like, it kind of was. It was only 4 years ago. So yeah, that video definitely was my favorite thing about today, because getting that in funny when Facebook memories pop up, oftentimes it was like, fuck off, whatever. Right. That was one that stopped me. I was like, oh, well, there it is. Because I've been wondering where the hell that audio was. And now I'm going to make sure I put that somewhere special on my phone, so I never have to worry about now when I need it, I can go get it.
I still have the pushing the odds on the podcast app, and I won't delete it because I can go back. It's hilarious. Like if you need something to do and you really enjoy this show, go back and listen to some of those. I mean, it was hilarious. Like there was some funny stuff, and we were on the radio and all that other stuff. Wow, there's Alex B. Smith saying he got sick with heart failure during this time in 2020. It's wild how that seems so far and very close at the same time. It does, Alex. It does.
It's so true. Oh my God, you bought a house on Zoom. Holy shit. Bought a house over Zoom. You couldn't look at it. You couldn't go walk around.
We did the same thing. We bought the house the day before I had the stroke. First house I ever bought in my life. I didn't know I was in the hospital, worrying I was ever going to see it because it wasn't built yet. We had just agreed to it. It was flat dirt. And then I meet the guy down the street after we moved in, and he said his wife didn't make it out of the hospital because of COVID. They bought the house, and she never saw it.
Damn.
Yeah. So the stories are incredible. I mean, the stories, we will, I think, look back with a different lens.
100%.
As we get further away.
100%.
But it really feels like I cannot believe that it was 4 years ago. Can't.
Really is crazy. Guys, thank you for being here. Thank you to Alex Kane and Sporttrade for a Whale Watch Wednesday. We do Primetime Thursdays, brought to you by Prime Sportsbook. We'll talk to Joe Brennan Jr. tomorrow on the program and get to Thursday night football. Patriot Football Day, boys and girls. Should be fun on tomorrow.
I'm going to go get Jet stuff.
Good. Enjoy wearing that disgusting color. He's Dave. I'm Matt. Back on a Thursday, primetime Thursday for BVB.